What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Disc Golf Nerd Plastic Podcast. Just want to check in with you guys, let you know what's going on with me. Also, wanted to see what's going on with you guys. I have played a few rounds lately, nothing too crazy. I've been super busy. I moved last month, and it's just a lot of work to be done around the house and putting our lives back together, as it were. It's always, a difficult undertaking to move. I'm sure most of you guys understand that, and thanks for bearing with me through that period of a little bit less content coming out there. I've just been just kind of doing a lot of that, but I have snuck in a few rounds here and there, and still throwing discs, still trying to keep my reviews going. I got a couple of discs I'm testing right now for sure. I posted the Star V Cobra review recently. That one was a really nice disc. I actually it ended up with my buddy Adam, and he's throwing it quite well. He's actually enjoying it quite a bit. First round with it, he threw one in from like 40 or so, and he's been using it for just a really nice straight approach disc for him. It works well with his throwing style. Goes real straight, but very predictable, and yeah, seems to be working out great. He told me he loves it, so that's nice to recommend something to somebody, hook somebody up, and have it work out well for them. Definitely a good disc. I highly recommend you guys check one of those out. Like so many other ones, I mean, I can count on one hand how many discs I think out of the over 100 that I've tested were just kind of a bunk disc. There's very, very, very few of that. They all have a use, and they all work well for somebody's specific type of shot and their throwing style. Pretty much all of them have their function depending on who you are, how you throw, and that sort of thing, your approach to the game. So that's kind of a cool aspect of disc golf, that it's there's so many different ways to get the job done. So it's really cool. So I played Vance Park the other day. If anybody is in the Portland area, I'm sure you've played Vance. It's just a little 9-hole course. It's probably my home course at this point. I play it quite a bit. It's definitely the closest one to my house at this as well. Where we just moved, we're a straight run. We can get there relatively quick, so I probably end up playing it a decent amount this winter. It's a great place to just go, play through it 2, 3 times, get a little bit, an 18 or 27. You do 4 rounds there, pretty easy if you wanted to. It's just a 9-hole, so no big deal there. But definitely still a fun little course. A few different types of shots and some trees, and still has some technical aspects to it. You still got to throw some decent lines to do well there. And I shot one of my best rounds ever there, if not the best round I've ever had there, which was 10 under, bogey free on 2 rounds through there. I'm generally trying to shoot bogey free there for sure. There's not a lot of opportunities for me to take a 4 unless I really mess up an upshot or something, or I go OB. There's some concrete you can end up on, you cost yourself a par, but hit pretty much all my putts inside the circle. Had a couple that spit out on me. One that probably should have stayed in. One that maybe could have stayed in. That sort of thing. But other than that, I hit all my putts inside the circle. Hit at least one from outside the circle, like pretty much every round since I started using the Jawbreaker magnets, and they're just still amazing. I got 2 more for my backup stock because I'm afraid Discraft's going to get rid of them sometime soon. I really want to have backups for them, so I have a decent amount of them laying around now, maybe 6 or so total in my inventory. 2 in the bag, and then a few others. Yeah, I think I have 4 other ones hanging out. So that's sweet. I have one that's slightly lighter that I'm using for longer putts, and I have my max weight 175 purple that I'm using inside the circle. That just feels great. I just really like that disc. It's working super well. You'll definitely see them on my next in the bag video. I'll probably post an in the bag video, speaking of which, relatively soon. I may even film it today. I have the day off today. It's rainy. Just hanging out. I played disc golf yesterday, so I'm just kind of chilling in the house today. Um, putzing around, recording stuff, that sort of thing. So I may record it in the bag, but yeah, the Jawbreaker Magnet's just crushing it for me right now. Absolutely love it. Also really enjoying the Thrasher. I'm throwing the Thrasher for most of my straight line driver shots, and it's working really well. Even though it's a faster kind of distance disc, you can still kind of, it doesn't have to be on a super long, pure distance shot. It's accurate enough that I can throw it For most of my driver shots, I've actually been throwing that thing for the last few rounds. It's worked quite well. If any of you guys do know Vance, the one hole is like 6. It's a little bit long. You got to throw through a tight gap, and then it's pretty open from there. But it's like kind of uphill and then back down the hill. It's relatively hard to, for the course itself. Not in general, but as far as Vance, it's probably one of the harder twos to get. I birdied that one both rounds. Actually, even though I shot 10 down, I missed the really short easy hole at least one of the rounds. I think I got it the second round. I missed it the first round. Stuff like that, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, it felt really good out there throwing the magnets. The Jawbreaker's working out great. The Thrasher's working out really great. Still enjoying my trespasses. Also got to test the gold line that I've been throwing, and also the brand new Sparkle Opto World Champ Edition Saki Bomb Compass from Latitude 64. Great disc. I carried that one advanced. I'm pretty sure every time I threw it, I got a bird out of it. So it's just a good flyer. It's a little more overstable than the straight up opto ones. I also have a gold line one that's working out real nice that you'll see in my next in the bag. That one's pretty sweet. It's lighter weight. It's flat top, and it's actually pretty stable. So it's a good flyer for me. I'm digging it. What else is cracking? So from there, I also played Pier Park yesterday. I got to sneak out with some of my buddies, which felt really great to get a four-man card going out at a nice, full 18-hole course and get a real solid round in on a Sunday afternoon. It's kind of chilly and a little drizzly. I got kind of cold towards the end of the round. I started to make some mistakes off the tee and got into some trouble. I shot pretty much par golf throughout the front 9. Again, throwing the Thrasher on almost every shot and getting pretty good results on all my drives with it. I've also tested the Westside Discs Queen, which the Disc Golf Depot just hooked me up with for a review yesterday. I took it out to Pier, threw some great lines with it. Really like this disc too. I'm really looking forward to continuing testing of it. But yeah, Thrasher working well, putter working well. I think it's the first time I've played a round in probably couple years that I didn't throw the Envy, not one time the entire round. I was throwing drivers, and then straight to my magnets, whether it was my soft magnet or my slightly lighter weight Jawbreaker that I've been throwing for some upshots as well. And a lot of my drives landed in somewhat putting range anyway, so I was just kind of putting towards the bucket, hoping it goes in. I hit one from like 40, maybe a little bit longer out of and that felt really nice for my only birdie of the day. And I got in some trouble. I only took 1-5, which isn't too bad for Pier Park. Some of the holes on the back 9 get really long and extremely wooded, and it's really easy to take 5s out there and beyond. So I only took 1-5, and I will say for myself that the 1-5 I took was garbage. I threw a great upshot that just barely caught the side of a tree. Rather than going around the tree by a couple more inches and sliding right up to the basket, it caught the edge of the bark and stood up and rolled like 25, 30 feet behind another tree. I had to do like a gymnast, like almost doing a split Jean-Claude Van Damme straddle putt out from behind a tree on an Anheuser, and I think I still drew some metal, but or gave it a bid to go in, but just couldn't save the 4 on that. So that was ridiculous. I don't think that was really my fault. So what are you going to do on a wooded course like Pier Park? It's always going to happen. But it's a beautiful track. I definitely like it out there. I only get there every few months or so at most. I don't even remember the last time I played there was. It might have been last winter even, or last spring or something like that. I don't get there very often, but I do value it. It's a good course. It's just a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to for me. I can drive to Milo from where I'm at and Timber and lots of other places, faster or similar amount of time, so I pretty much end up going to other places a lot more often than Pier, just because, it gets a little bit frustrating in the back 9, and it's a little bit far, it's not that far, but it's a lot of through town driving, and it gets a little tricky. But yeah, definitely worth going out there if you're ever in the Portland area and you're looking for courses to check out. Pier Park is definitely in the top five, I would say, in the area to go check out. But excuse me. As far as me living here, it's in my top 10, but I don't know if it's in my top five. I did a top 10 episode of the podcast where I talked about some of my favorite courses, but the order I was using on that was kind of wishy washy. It was nothing too crazy. It wasn't like super set in stone or anything. It was just kind of how I was feeling. So what else is going on? Oh, I tested the draw backpack bag from Upper Park. I reviewed that, so go check that out if you're looking for a starter bag or just like a little backup bag or for glow rounds or anytime you just don't need a ton of plastic. It's a good option for the money. I like the fact that it's still a backpack. You can still put it on your back, carry it across with the weight distributed across your back, and yeah, it's got a nice putter pocket, plenty of room for discs. You can stuff a jacket in there, snacks and other stuff. So it seems like a good bag for the money. Check out my review on that. I don't know if you guys saw, I also posted a new disc golf DIY project where I made a pretty sweet disc storage crate using an old milk crate I got from work. I need to find another one of those because I'd like to have another one just to put my other plastic on. Because the way I have it set up now, all of my backup plastic is on there. And then I have some other stuff that I hold on to for sentimental and other reasons on a different, my old PVC rack that I modified that you guys have seen on the channel for years now. I modified that. That's a setup to fit right on this new shelf I have in my back room where I'm storing a lot of my stuff. So, yeah, if you're looking for, I think, a pretty elegant and nice way to store your plastic in the garage or wherever you keep it, I think that milk crate project I posted is actually pretty solid. I was pretty stoked when I came up with the idea, and it worked out really well. Honestly, I think it worked out great. So check that out if you guys are interested. What's going on with you guys? Please let me know what's been happening with you. Leave me a comment down below. Hit me up on Facebook or whatever. Just let me know what's been going on and what are you guys throwing. What's working out for you? Any good scores you posted up? Post a picture of an ace you might have hit or something on my Facebook. Any of that kind of stuff is always welcome. I kind of feel like I haven't had as much interaction with you guys as I'd like to lately. So yeah, definitely know what's going on. Let me know if you guys have any disc recommendations, anything you might want me to check out. If you guys have any discs you want to send me to sponsor a review for whatever reason, there's something you want me to promote or something like that, definitely don't hesitate to hit me up on that too. I would totally be interested in that. To be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm feeling a little bit frustrated just with it doesn't seem like any of the manufacturers really place any value in the reviews and stuff that I've been posting. I know that I don't throw the discs in them, and some people take major offense to that, but there are people out there that watch and value my reviews. They do have view counts on them. They have good ratios as far as likes to dislikes, as far as I'm concerned. And I love and value all the people that watch my reviews, and I don't think I get much in the way of respect from the manufacturers, unfortunately. Even I'll buy a disc myself, or I'll get somebody else to sponsor it, and I'll post it, and you won't even see like a share, or it doesn't even seem like anybody finds it, even though I'm tagging the manufacturers and stuff, trying to let them know that I'm out here doing what I'm doing. Not that I'm think I'm a big deal or anything, but people like my reviews. Fairly certain I have more of them posted than anybody else in the world. I try to do them in my own style rather than just be like, throw it and oh yeah, it's overstable, here's me throwing it. I try to represent what it might be like for you guys, because I don't really think it's all that important to see what it looks like in flight for somebody who's not you. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, their own throwing style, and all that stuff. That's why I try to talk to you guys more about the feel of a disc, the way it looks, the way it feels, my basic overall impressions of the flights based on my testing, and then I also try to extrapolate and more or less hypothesize how it may fly for various people of different arm speeds and how it might function in your bag. Rather than just be like, it's overstable, here's me throwing it, 2 minutes later the video's over. I try to give you guys some context. I try to show it next to other discs that might be similar. I try to compare it to other discs that I might have experience with. And it seems like people viewers and people and subscribers on my channel do value what I do and do watch the videos, but unfortunately don't feel like that necessarily translates all that much to the manufacturers. But as much as that has kind of made me a little bit frustrated lately and hasn't allowed me to keep the ball rolling with reviews as much as I'd like to, I realize it's all about you guys. It's not about them. Whatever. It's all about the people that are watching the videos. I'm going to do my best to continue posting content for you guys that you enjoy and that you find informative, if at all possible. I've really enjoyed this whole process and building this community, working on this channel. It's been a tremendous hobby. I really like it, and I want to keep the ball rolling. I still have a few sponsors that are hooking me up. Shout out to Disc Golf Depot. Disc King is undergoing some changes right now, so that our relationship is changing as his role in the disc golf community is changing as well. But I'm sure I'll continue to work with him in various respects going forward. But yeah, it makes me a little bit frustrated sometimes. But all that being said, again, if you guys out there have anything you're trying to promote, you want to promote your club or your business or whatever. Or you just want to send me a disc that you have laying around that I haven't reviewed because you'd like to know my thoughts on it. All that stuff is welcome. In fact, if people wanted to loan me discs to review, and then I could even just send them right back to you, I have no problem with that either. And then if I lose them or whatever, I'll pay some PayPal for them or something. That would be totally cool too. I'd like to keep the ball rolling. I don't have a ton of money to put into this thing. I'm still putting plenty of my own money into the project like I always have. And every time I can sell a disc and get a little PayPal money, a lot of times I'm looking for the next thing to get to continue the ball rolling and keep posting these reviews. It's kind of funny that I ended up having so many reviews because it was never something I even wanted to do. I just kind of started by posting some information, trying to help out beginners, avoid the mistakes and kind of pitfalls that I ran into as a young player, a beginning player. And I want you guys to get to the point where you understand what your discs are doing faster, because that's when the fun happens. When you get to that point where you know exactly what it's going to do and you know how to manipulate the discs and you start learning how to work the shapes and you're not just ripping it and hoping it goes where you want it to go. When you start to actually be able to control it, manipulate the disc you want, that first time you really pure the line, you get the disc to stand up just the way you want to. It just feels so good. I'm trying to jump, help you guys skip ahead to that point where you understand what's going on with it. The faster you do that, the faster you can get to the point where you're in control of the game, and it becomes so much more fun, so much more addictive. And I just want to prevent people from going out using the wrong discs, the wrong approach, having a bad time, and giving up on the game. That's kind of my mission statement here. But it is funny how the reviews have kind of become such a thing here on my channel. Again, I have almost 115 reviews posted. I don't think anybody else has any more than that. If they do, I don't know how I don't know about them. There's other great reviewers out there doing a good job. I'll always tell you guys to go check out DG Weekly's videos if you want to see somebody throwing the disc. He has people help him out with camera work. He's got a nice camera. He's got consistent enough form to demonstrate the discs. He puts in a lot of work and time, so good on him. I'm kind of a one-man show. I have looked into trying to record flights and stuff without somebody there to actually zoom in. It just doesn't really work. There's times where I've used my friends and people, it immediately becomes about the throwing and not about the disc, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I continue to do the reviews in my own way and try to just give you guys more of an overall sense of what to expect when buying the disc, especially trying to be honest and represent the differences between each individual disc. They're never going to be exactly the same. There's times where I've tested a disc that I knew was so atypical or so far away from what it was supposed to do based on the stuff I read about it from the manufacturers and stuff that I just flat out didn't post a review because I don't want to mislead anybody. And, so I try to represent that kind of stuff. And I just want you guys to be able to look through there. If there's a disc you're interested in, I want you to be able to check out my review and hopefully know more about it than you did before. That's all I'm really looking for. Give you a basic idea if what I describe and show you in the video sounds like something that would work for you. The only way you're really going to know how it's going to fly is to buy it and throw it yourself. That's how you're going to do it. I could show you footage of Paul Macbeth throwing a Nova 325 on a dead straight frozen rope. That doesn't mean that's how they fly for you if you go get one. It's just, that's him. That's his throwing style. There's so many different things that go into it. It's much better to show you the Nova, talk about how it feels, talk about how I thought it flew in general, and then if all of that sounds good, you get one and see what you can do with it. That's kind of my focus. Man, just rambling to you guys today, but I miss you. I miss everybody out there. I haven't been. It's kind of the off season now. It's kind of the time for the amateurs, the rec players, the casual players like us to work on our game and continue playing and throwing, because there's not a lot of golf to watch, or golf. It's not any live coverage you need to be sitting around watching, and there's not a lot to talk about in terms of the top pros and what they're up to. So might as well focus on your own game, and definitely, hit me up. Let me know what you guys have been doing, where you've been throwing, how you've been throwing, what you've been throwing, how you're doing in your personal lives, whatever you guys want to talk about. Let me know what's cracking. Definitely value all you guys out there continuing to watch the videos, listen to these podcasts, support the channel. I appreciate it very much. You guys are awesome. Throw them well out there. If you have any suggestions of discs you'd like to see me review, and again, if you have any interest in sponsoring reviews in any way, whether you want to promote yourself or your club, or just get a shout out on YouTube, whatever the case may be, hit me up. Send me a personal message on Facebook. Send me an email, discraftandinova@gmail.com, and we could try to work something out. I'm always happy to cross promote. If you can help me out with some plastic, I'm happy to help you out with stuff. And just be part of the community. Love all you guys out there. I will talk to you guys later. All right, cheers.